What's going on, everybody? Steve here, Raking Profit. Welcome to another video. I'm here with my buddy Jared, who's 21 years old. And Jared and I, we've been talking quite a bit behind the scenes. And I was really impressed by what he was doing at such an early age, at 21 years old. Man, I wish I was in the online e-commerce space at 21. But Jared is a drop shipper. He's a full-time drop shipper. He's 21 years old. He's actually run multiple businesses in the past. He's somewhat of a serial entrepreneur, and he's doing some really awesome things. So I want to bring him on the channel and discuss what he's doing, because he's actually doing things a little bit different. He's getting into some opportunities that are pretty interesting right now. And for anybody who's looking to make an extra 500 a month, 1,000 a month, a couple $1,000s a month with something that's pretty passive, something that has some good opportunity for growth, low risk, you're definitely gonna want to tune in to this video. So we got Heather, the reseller, coming in. What's going on? So Jared, welcome, man, to the Rake and Profit channel. How you doing?
Good, man. Super. Just awesome to be on this channel. So I'm excited.
It was fun behind the scenes. We were trying to set up some camera angles, and he's like, "Man, I'm in my bedroom right now. Like, I wish I had a professional backdrop." And I'm like, "Dude, you're 21 years old, man. It's okay. People are going to understand." So it's good to have you here. We got a lot of content and a lot of questions scheduled that I'm going to be asking him. If you guys are here watching live right now, drop a comment and I will shout you out. We've got Heather, the reseller, in the house. What's going on, Heather? How's everything going in your business? She's saying, yo, what's going on? Amari, good to see you all. Appreciate you. Hope everyone's sales are going great. It's Q4 right now, man. And, this is the time to make the money. Most of the people who watch my channel, Jared, they're selling physical products. So we're buying items from thrift stores, garage sales, yard sales, auctions. Sometimes we source online, but we're mostly dealing with physical products, hard goods, where we're taking them, they're tangible, we're reselling them. So Q4 is our time of the year. When it comes to drop shipping, is this the time of the year for you guys as well?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, in Q4, sales are going to be up for anyone. So for us, it's even better just because, I mean, not necessarily better, but most likely better because we have quantity over quality, right? We're just listing a ton of products. And most likely because we don't have to hold any inventory, we're going to have a lot of sales just because sales are up,
We got my buddy Avery coming in right now with a $5 super chat. Sup, Jared and Steve. He's a mini Paul. So yeah, my good buddy Paul Lipsky. So he's like the OG drop shipper around here on eBay and Amazon. And now we got Jared coming in and filling some big shoes right now. So Avery was actually my buddy who was at my house the other day when you had called me and we were talking. But good to see you, Avery. Hopefully you're enjoying Alaska right now. So let's get into things, Jared. Who are you, man? How the heck did you get into drop shipping? What's your story? Let's talk about where you came from. Let's talk about how you built your sales to $50,000 a month and even more than that. And let's talk about what you're doing and just kind of share with people the different things that you're doing, because this channel is all about helping people to make more money, grow your business, create more freedom. So let's get into it, man. I'm interested to hear.
Yeah, so I would say as like an entrepreneur, I guess the most important thing is staying on top of the trends. So that's honestly, I focus a big part of my day is just watching YouTube. I'm subscribed to a bunch of channels, whether that's crypto, whether that's resellers. And that's actually how I came across Facebook dropshipping. And I was some of the first. I was one of the first of the 15 just on the original Facebook dropshipping softwares. So I got to speak to software developers just because I was having issues with, software issues because I was one of the first 15 on these softwares. They were brand new. So like FBM Fox, there's another one, and we were using these to drop ship. So, if you can stay on the trends, if you know the right guys to follow that are making money already, you just hop on those trends and you can make money with them. It's kind of how it works.
Yeah, it's crazy how a lot of us were always like, we're trying to focus on a million things, but sometimes you just have to slow down and figure something out, focus on one thing. I mean, I spent the whole day yesterday setting up crypto bots. So, so how did you get to doing $50,000 a month? Talk about your story a little bit in terms of, how you learned about it and kind of how you got into things and how you grew it to 50K and what you're doing.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't even know our sales is probably a lot more than 50K. And that's just because we have like a bunch of, I told this guy I was on an interview and he's a we have over 20 Facebook accounts, right? Because I also have client accounts that I work on. So we just do a ton of sales. And we
Yeah, we're
and
gonna teach Jared the ropes of going live, man.
we use labor in third world countries. We have a whole team of over 30 employees in the Philippines, and they're basically helping us out. They're listing items, product listing, and we're able to just scale that. It's a plug and play. So when I get new clients, my team goes in and trains them, and then we're able to scale. But overall, right, we're just using simple tactics that I'm sure we'll get into today, to do retail arbitrage at a really high level.
So what is Facebook Marketplace dropshipping? Let's talk about it. Again, because a lot of the people who are following me, Jared, they're not going to understand what dropshipping is. They're not going to understand what dropshipping on Facebook is. Let's take us back, to kind of the start right here. What is it? How do you use it? What exactly are you doing?
Yeah, so when you're when you're drop shipping in general, right, you're just filling the cracks and crevices of all the areas that don't have items yet, right? Because on a new marketplace like Facebook, Amazon's also a newer marketplace, or I'm sorry, Walmart is also a newer marketplace. That's harder to get approved to sell on Walmart. But like for example, on Facebook, right, where it's really easy to get in right now, it will get harder after 2022, and they start making it harder to get approved on Facebook shops. But right now, we're able to get in, fill the cracks and crevices with items that aren't there, and sell them for higher profit margins, right? And make anywhere from 20 to 50% profit margins right now, which will definitely drop over time. But we're able to really make some nice profit margins off of selling everything from a bidet to a car horn. You know what I mean? So we sell
You're saying 20 to 50% margins, because I know with eBay and Amazon drop shipping, a lot of times it's 10% or less.
Exactly. And Facebook will get there soon. And that's just because, right? I mean, eBay and Amazon, it's when it started off, it was those higher profit margins as well because it wasn't oversaturated. What brings the pricing down is the competition, right? So when more people come into the space and are selling the same items, that brings the price down. Jesus. But but yeah, besides that, that's pretty much how it works.
Interesting. Yeah. I mean, how many here would have loved to get on, Amazon FBA when it first came out? And I don't know when that first came out. Was it 2013 or 14 or 15, somewhere around then? There was it was a lot easier to make money because there was less competition, and Facebook Marketplace is huge. I mean, I don't know, we got a lot of resellers on the call right now. I have been crushing it sourcing off of Facebook Marketplace right now because they're offering free shipping pretty much on all items for select sellers. And, Facebook Marketplace is a huge opportunity right now. So how do you go about finding products to drop ship on Facebook? So, say somebody wanted to do that right now. They want to learn about it. They wanted to, get a couple items listed. How exactly would somebody start doing this? And talk about like how much money's involved.
Yeah. So the way you source products, and I guess we'll get into the money part after. The way you source products, there's a couple ways to do it. We talk about the psychology behind this is the psychology behind Facebook sellers is the same behind eBay sellers. What I mean by that is if it's selling on eBay, it's also selling on Facebook. Okay. We're able to use softwares previously that were used by eBay, but also some of the new softwares that have come out for Facebook dropshippers or for Facebook dropshippers gives us that data that tells us, hey, it's also selling on eBay. So there's no actually really product research tools yet that tells us what's selling on Facebook, which is actually really interesting. We're using mostly eBay data. Another way we do it is scalping, which is pretty normal. So we'll go and find other sellers on Facebook. My team actually keeps log of all those sellers that are really good. They have over 1,000 sales already on Facebook, or over 1,000 reviews already on Facebook. We actually keep track of their profiles. We're constantly tracking them. We're able to see the new items they're posting, the items that are selling well, because maybe they go out of stock before they can refill them. And so we are actually stocking a lot of the better sellers. And that's how we're able to stay at a really high level for, on a bunch of accounts, selling these products. That answers your question.
So how much money does it cost to get started with this? Because when you're drop shipping, obviously you're just relisting items from Walmart, different locations, eBay, Amazon, wherever you're using as a supplier. So like how much money does it actually cost to do this? Because it's really just you're copying and pasting. I don't know if you're doing it with a software or manually or how you're doing it, but can you talk a little bit about that?
Well, here's the really cool thing about Facebook. So the fees are extremely low right now. I think it's only 5%. It's like 5%. If you get approved on shops, there is zero fees, by the way. But if you have, yeah, there's till June, there's not going to be any fees. But if you have good credit, you don't really need any money to start. I mean, if usually it kind of goes hand in hand. But if you have good credit, right, Facebook pays out fairly quickly compared to other platforms. So you really don't need that much money to start. You have good credit, you're going to be just fine. Literally just posting pictures to make money. It's kind of how it is.
So you find a product that's maybe selling, for example, really well on eBay. You post that on Facebook at a higher price. How much are you typically marking it up?
We typically will only mark it up about 20%, but we do have some tricks on Facebook shops as well as Marketplace where we charge, like, usually you would think like you can't charge shipping fees. But right now we're making a ton of money charging shipping fees. For example, one of our tactics on Facebook shops is standard delivery is free. You can add, $3 to $4 for rush shipping and then like $8 for expedited shipping. And so like, on a smaller price item that makes margins sometimes past 50%, but we're able to really get our margins up on Facebook shops as well as Marketplace by charging shipping fees.
Okay, so you got an item, you list it up, it sells. Then what do you have to do? Do you have to go buy it from the supplier and then put in the shipping information for the person who purchased?
Yeah, I didn't mention that. So we don't, like I said, we don't hold any inventory. So when it sells, we then go purchase it from the supplier. Now, when you're doing this at a mass scale, you definitely want to use software. Why? Because if the products go in and out of stock and you're not fulfilling those orders and you're canceling them, Facebook's going to suspend you very quickly. And their systems are new. So it's harder to get back in. We have, like, on my channel, we always talk about, like, it's not that hard to get unsuspended, but they suspend you really quickly. But there's also inventory management softwares that will take the products out of stock for you once you get to a high level. But at the beginning, you don't need softwares from the beginning.
So it doesn't take a lot of money to do this. It's pretty easy to set up. It's pretty easy to fulfill the products and stuff. Of course, you want a software to make sure you're safe. What would you say is like a reason that somebody would want to do this versus, going out to a thrift store or a garage sale? Because, we can go out to thrift stores, buy items for a couple bucks and sell them for 30, 40, 50 bucks. The thing is, we have to go out there. We have to hunt it down. We have to jump in our car. It could be snowing, could be raining. We got to bring it home. We got to list it, take pictures. Yes. What do you think are the benefits of dealing with, almost like it's not a digital product, but you're not having to touch it like it's intangible? Like, what do you think that the benefits are of like versus selling physical products?
Yeah. So,
bro, we got to teach you how to turn off your notifications, man.
I don't know how to do it on my computer. It is driving me crazy. But I think the most underrated thing right now is third world country labor, right? You can't go hire someone in the Philippines to go to the store for you and find these products, or go shopping for you and, do things that, like shipping the item, whatever that entails, right? I haven't done a bunch of reselling actual items myself, but you can scale drop shipping, and you can do that with third world country labor. And I think that's the most underrated. That is one of the most underrated entrepreneurial ideas right now, is using third world country labor, because, you could do this, you could hand this off to someone else once it's making money on its own, and then you can continue to go do your reselling or whatever you're doing. That's keeping you busy and making money, because you don't want to be, who wants to be doing nothing? And obviously you're going to have to check up, make sure everything's going well, but who wants to be doing nothing? Everyone wants to be working. So you can hand that off, and then you can go do your reselling.
Yeah, I love working with virtual assistants, and I've had comments on my channel in the past saying, it's not fair that you're only paying them a couple bucks an hour, $2, $3 an hour. It's unethical. And the truth is, in a lot of these third world countries and in the Philippines, a lot of these people are only making a couple bucks a day. So you can actually give them a really good wage. I always give my virtual assistants bonuses. I treat them really well. It was a couple months ago, I put, a family of my virtual assistants in a hotel because they had some bad weather and different things. So I like to take care of my virtual assistants, and they really appreciate it. And, I'll be honest with you, Jared, I like working with people in the Philippines more than the United States. I feel like it's a pain in the butt working with people in the United States. They're entitled. They want $1 million for their time. They think they're so smart, but they don't even have that many skills. And I'm not talking about anybody watching live right now, but just if I go to Upwork and different things like that, it's like, I'd rather go to Online Jobs PH and find someone in the Philippines. I love working with people in the Philippines.
Yeah, so I mean I completely agree. Like I threw Christmas parties, they got their Christmas bonuses. So like, or we're throwing a Christmas party, they got their Christmas bonuses. So yeah, I'm the same way. And it's life changing. I mean, people don't understand like $1 buys you lunch there, whereas it takes $10 to buy lunch here. So I mean, one of our dollars is 48 Filipino dollars. So and that's just in the Philippines. Some countries are worse, and some countries are better. So you're actually changing lives, and that's why these people are so grateful. They work so hard because on top of that, there's 30 to 40%, unemployment rates. Here, you can't get people to work for anything. So it's like, it's just two different worlds, man.
Dude, I went into Chipotle the other day. I asked for a little extra guacamole. My whole order came with like $14. I was like, what is going on right now in the United States? The cost of everything is just crazy. But yeah, just you guys go check out onlinejobs.ph. Upwork.com is a bit more expensive, but virtual assistants are great. So let's talk a little bit more about Facebook drop shipping. Where do you see, right? So right now, the big opportunity with Facebook is going to be the marketplace and then the shops. So talk about what these shops are a little bit more, because that really confused me when I started learning about this a couple of weeks ago. Talk about what the difference is between like the marketplace and the shops, and why shops is such a huge opportunity.
Yeah, so in order for this to become mass scale, to get Nike on here, to get other platforms on here, you got to have a professional system, right? You can't just have them listing on a marketplace. And what we saw with early Facebook dropshipping was Facebook systems literally couldn't handle all the orders. Your account would just get suspended. They would refund orders. The pending balances wouldn't show correctly. There were so many glitches because it was made for resellers, not for drop shippers that could sell at mass scale. So they created Facebook shops to make it more professional. Obviously, the future of shopping, right? That's a whole other story. Is going to be, there's live shopping that like is like non-existent right now, but they're going to try to integrate that into a metaverse type live shopping deal. Though that means like, for example, right, us guys who are posting on social media, we're always looking for like what platforms are going to get us the most views, most eyeballs, right? So if someone who's selling, it's going to be like, what's going to get us the most views, the most eyeballs? Well, if Facebook Shops is promoting their Facebook Shops, but now they're promoting the Facebook Shops that have the live shopping, then we're going to go on and dance around in whatever clothes we're selling to make sure they sell.
Dude, I was just talking about this with my friend the other day. I was like, why don't we have a platform that allows you to engage and interact with people? And like, I would love to imagine if I went to the thrift store and I brought like 20 items back, like have like a thrift store party where I'm like able to show everything and have fun, and like people are able to easily transact.
Yeah, exactly. So that's where we're headed. And Facebook is just at the top of everything. Like changing the name to Meta was just a small sign of like how big it's going to be. And they're very smart and they're very on top of it.
Interesting. So the reason why I wanted to bring you on is because obviously you're doing some really cool stuff. But also because like just making an extra couple $100 a month, $500 a month, $1,000 a month, spending very little time could change pretty much anybody's life. And let's talk a little bit more about how much money you can make doing this, because I know you manage 20 other accounts. Jared actually helps people set up automation accounts, different things like that. We're not really going to talk about it during this video. If you guys have questions, you can ask. What I would recommend doing is going over to Jared's YouTube channel and subscribe to him. So Jared, I put a link to your YouTube channel down in the description. I don't know if they're going to be able to find it because it's just Jared. Is there an easier way for people to find it, or just go to the link in the description?
Yeah, just go to the link in the description. And if you type in Jared Plaka, you can normally find me. But besides that, yeah, link in the description.
Yep, I'm just making sure it's there. Yep, it's good. And Jared talks about a lot of cool stuff. But what I was saying was, you can literally set up a Facebook drop shipping business for very little money. You can get a team helping you out in the Philippines, which isn't as challenging as you would think. Jared helps people do this as well, which I was talking about, which you can go check out his YouTube channel. You can learn more about it. But let's talk about what type of income potential and how much time it would take someone to kind of get this going, because that's what I care about most now. I've been reselling for, and in business over 7 years. And what I'm always looking at is I'm looking for different investments. But what I'm always looking at is like, what are the risks involved? How much time is it going to take? How much capital is it going to take? And what type of like long-term growth potential does it have? Right? Because most people watching now, they're thrifting, they're reselling, they're making a couple $1,000s a month, but they're looking for something maybe on the side that can make them a couple $100, maybe even a couple thousand eventually passively. And I know people use the word passively and, it takes work, but let's kind of go into that discussion a little bit.
Yes. So, I mean, we have clients making as little as a couple $100 a month, and we have clients making, our highest clients making just over $3,000 a month. They obviously have the Facebook shops open, and a lot of those sales are coming from, items that we saw sell really well early on in Facebook. And like I said, right, there's nothing else is going on here except the fact that they're pushing eyeballs towards those shops. Now, can someone make 500 to 1,000 on the marketplace? Absolutely. We have we have marketplaces that are making that without Facebook shops. What that means is you just have to have really good product research. You have to spend a little bit more time. You can't just post any item and hope that it sells. It almost felt like that at the beginning on Facebook when you started 6-8 months ago, but it's not like that anymore. But if you do the right product research, if you start selling a couple items, you see what's working, you then find other sellers selling those items, and you really get a groove going, you can make some really nice money. And at the same time, you're building your credit. I've been traveling everywhere. I've been like Vegas, Orlando, and just because I have a ton of credit card points, we run 6 accounts for ourselves other than the client accounts. And my favorite part is the credit card points, because that's a whole other benefit that we can get into as well. So
how does that work with the credit card? Are you saying that, let me put it this way. So are you saying that when you sell a product, you're having to buy it with your own credit card? So it's, it's on your credit card, which is helping you build points. And then the customer will pay you, which essentially pays for the item plus your profit. And you're building your credit and your points that way.
Exactly. I mean, like, you could technically use a debit card. You could pay with PayPal. I mean, you can link your credit card to PayPal, but you might as well use the credit card, get the bonuses. Sometimes, like, for clients that really need extra money, we do, like, I don't mind just the points, but you can do 5% back cards at eBay, 5% back cards at Amazon. So you're really making a lot of money back if you're just purchasing using your eBay card on eBay and your Amazon card on Amazon. That's a whole other scheme to get a bunch more money.
I want to talk about that a little bit. Go a little off course for a second. I source a lot off of eBay and I flip it on Amazon FBA. When I buy things on eBay, I typically, pay through PayPal, but then use my credit card. It's an American Express. But you're saying there's an eBay. Is there a card? Like, say I'm spending thousands of dollars every week buying items on eBay. Should I be using like an eBay credit card?
Yeah, absolutely. There's like 5% back cards with Synchronology.
Really? What's that called?
Just type in eBay MasterCard. It'll come up.
Wow. So I've been screwing myself. Interesting. Well, that's a good tip right there. So Facebook Marketplace, what advice would you give to somebody right now who's watching and they're like, okay, this is intriguing. What's up, Thrift School? Good to see you. This is intriguing. I'm looking for something to do on the side. Talk about what's the best advice to kind of get started. How could somebody obviously go to your YouTube channel? I know you make a bunch of content, a bunch of free content over there. So check out Jared, link in the description. But what advice would you give to somebody who wants to start doing this and maybe just play around a little bit to see if something will actually sell on Facebook?
Yeah. So it's funny you talk about eBay and you actually buy stuff and resell it from eBay. And I think what a lot of people don't realize, like, people just assume Amazon has the cheapest prices. A lot of times eBay actually has much lower price items. I mean, you guys got to think, like, those Amazon fees and the Amazon FBA fees are insane. So you can actually be a lot more profitable on eBay. Amazon just does a much better job, getting those products out there. And people just happen to use Amazon more because it's convenient and people actually pay for that convenience. So eBay definitely has a lot of the cheaper price items. Most of our product research comes from eBay, like more than 60% comes from eBay. So that's a little tip as well. That's a big tip right there.
Yeah, I've been going hard sourcing on eBay lately, over the last couple of months, and it's shocking how cheap items are on eBay, compared to other platforms and stuff. So let's talk about legality. You know, when it comes to drop shipping, people are always worried about drop shipping because sometimes the terms of service is a bit vague, especially on eBay and Amazon. And my thing's always been like, listen, you know, you got to do what's best for you. I feel like sometimes even if something could slightly be like leaning towards it going against terms of service, like my motto in life is always add value. If I'm making a difference, if I'm adding value, if I'm creating a good service, if I'm making a difference in people's lives, sometimes I'll push things a little bit just because I know I'm doing the right thing and I'm not trying to pull the wool over somebody's eyes. When it comes to drop shipping, it's always like 50-50. When it comes to Facebook, what's your take on that? What's Facebook's take on it?
First of all, great question. Second of all, Facebook actually does not is okay with drop shipping as of now. That could potentially change, and we're positioning ourselves with actual, like, for example, right, if you want to drop ship on Amazon, you actually have to have like resale certificates or certificates from certain like suppliers and stuff like that, which we're not super familiar with yet, but we are positioning ourselves in a position where we will have like we'll be able to resell certain things. But for example, retail arbitrage is frowned upon by Amazon, and they will eventually suspend you. Can you make a bunch of money doing it? Absolutely. Still you can, but it's frowned upon. Facebook, it's not frowned upon yet. The drop shippers are actually growing the platform, helping get a lot of sales, get a lot of products on there. So that answers that question.
Yeah, it's funny how people give drop shippers such a hard time, but you're right. Like the people who do retail arbitrage on Amazon, it's also extremely risky just because like a lot of these brands are really getting upset and they're requiring like wholesale invoices and stuff. And you know, it's honestly Russian roulette with a lot of these platforms. There's no perfect platform, whether you're drop shipping or selling physical products. There's always risks involved. You know, everybody's looking for a way to make money that has zero risks. I don't think there's a business out there that doesn't have risk. There's always something that could go wrong, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's obviously ways to limit those risks and get into businesses with less risks. But yeah, I completely agree.
Jeremy says, thanks for the info. What are a few steps for product research besides just seasonal items during the year? So maybe you can walk people through some of the steps for a little more detail in terms of product research, maybe on eBay to drop ship on Facebook.
Okay, so obviously there's the seasonal items that sell like crazy that we'll see like an increase in sales, like, in let's say Halloween season, right? Costume, stuff like that. If you can get those listed at the right time, you'll get a bunch of sales there. But, especially when we're running a bunch of accounts, what we focus on more is those seasonal, not just the seasonal products, but the products that sell year round, car parts, right? Home and garden items. Those are really great items that are going to sell year round. Now, pool items, stuff like that, right? Also more seasonal. Obviously, Florida has got warm weather year round. But so if you can find, honestly, car part items, kill it. Home and garden items, kill it. Those are really two of the big ones I can think of off the top of my head. But yes, you should be doing that and adding seasonal items. And if Squid Games is big, you should be listing keychains from Squid Games. You know what I mean? So that kind of thing. You should have a mixture of both.
Have you ever had like a product that has sold like 100 times or 200 times, or like what's the life cycle of like a product that you're drop shipping? Because if I was to think about it, you're literally just copying and pasting a listing. You're finding a supplier, you're finding a source, you're copying the pictures, the description, you're putting it on the marketplace. I would think that eventually it would catch on and you just have a bunch of people selling the same thing and undercutting by a penny, which kind of happens on Amazon. How does that typically play out in the drop shipping space?
Yeah, so two things. One, I'll tell you guys a product that sold really well. I thought it was just going to sell forever. It finally, I guess a bunch of people started
Let's hear it.
and it stopped selling. It was a bidet. Okay, it was like this $10 bidet from eBay, and it was absolutely killing it. I think I did over $10,000. This is before I had clients. I was selling this product. I think I did over $10,000 just of this bidet. It was crazy. That would sell like 15 to 20 times a day at least.
No way.
Yeah, seriously. So that was pretty crazy. Yeah, what was the other part to that question?
I don't even remember, man, because honestly, I'm like that. I was just kind of like asking, like, what's the life cycle of a product, man? Like say, let me put it this way. So you have a bunch of clients that you work with right now. How many stores are you managing?
Just over 20.
What's the average amount of products that are in your clients' Facebook stores that you work on?
Oh, we're always adding products, so it just grows as you've been a client with us. But
Say I was a client with you for like 3 months. How many products would you have on your website? 2 months, how many products would I probably have listed? There's a reason I'm asking this.
Okay, yeah. So we do 10 to 15 per day. And I think getting into that because it's important to note that you can't just list a million items. Facebook will get thrown off, at least for now. Facebook Shops is different. You can
Oh,
list more, but the marketplace just isn't created to list a ton of items. So 10 to 15, maybe 20 max. But if you're doing like 20 every day, we still notice suspensions. So yeah, you want to stay in that 10 to 15 range per day.
and so say, say we're listing 10 items a day, I'm starting my Facebook drop shipping business. So within a month, I'd have 300 items. Within 2 months, I'd have 600 items. What's your typical like sell through rate? And does the 80-20 rule apply where like 20% of your items are making 80% of your sales, or does everything just kind of sell like for example, in my Kindle ebook business, which still makes about $1,000 a month, sometimes more.
Wow.
I have a lot of books that sell every month, like once or twice, and it like adds up to this number. Like, is it the same way with your drop shipping store? Like, or is it like a couple items like the bidet, it just like makes all the sales and like 98% of things don't sell?
So there's a couple ways to answer that question. One, I've seen items actually come back like from the dead that like I hadn't seen sell in a while. I have items that sell year round. And another big part of it is like accounts that are seasoned, meaning, they have a ton of reviews, similar to eBay, right? When you're searching for like an account that has like 5-star reviews or a bunch of reviews rather than the new guy, you're likely to get more sales as well, which is not something you had to worry about at the beginning of Facebook, or at 6 to 8 months ago when there wasn't anybody really selling on Facebook. But now that's a factor to kick in. So some of my client accounts, it actually takes a little bit longer now to really get those going.
Yeah, that's why like creating value at the end of the day, like I was sharing before, is the most important thing now. That could be on a YouTube channel, creating value, Facebook Marketplace, eBay, Amazon. By creating value, you create a good customer experience. You get really good feedback. And these platforms are so sophisticated now, they're monitoring it. Like, for example, if you're running a Shopify store now and you're running Facebook ads, if people complain enough, Facebook will literally shut your account down. So all these platforms are watching. So you always have to make sure you're shipping items on time, you're describing things accurately. And if you do create a good customer experience, you're going to get more sales. On eBay right now, there's such thing as being shadow banned. It happens to people all the time. You get a negative feedback, you ship late, and next thing you know, your sales just stop for like 2 weeks. They're literally like putting you in timeout. So they don't tell you what they're doing, but all these platforms are doing it. So that's interesting right there, what you shared. Now, I want to ask Jared, and by the way, have you guys subscribed to Jared on his YouTube channel? Because when it comes to drop shipping, I'm still learning a ton. So
I've been
go
getting a
check
bunch
out.
of notifications, so I think we're getting some subs.
Okay, go sub to Jared, because I'll tell you right now, he's 21, he's doing it, he's living it, he's moving a million miles per hour. I wish I could keep up with it all, but I want to talk about mistakes, because you just don't know what you don't know. And sometimes you could be doing something that's a great opportunity and you do 10 things right, and then you do one thing wrong. You make one mistake and you're done. You're toast. So let's talk about what are some of the common mistakes that you notice amongst people who are, drop shipping on Facebook Marketplace, doing it themselves, and just some of the things to avoid.
Okay, so the biggest thing is suspensions. That strays the most people away because obviously we talked about the ways that get you suspended, but when you're on the marketplace, right, their systems are not made to handle a massive amount of sellers or dropshippers in general. So there is a lot of suspensions. You need to handle them immediately. When you have a bunch of sales, I didn't know how to handle them right away when we first started. That became big in the scaling, because if you don't get your account back quick enough, they'll start to refund orders.
Oh, wow.
And so, yeah, when I first started doing this, we lost, because we used to do like thousands a day on some accounts. So it was going back in time. So like once it reached a certain date, it would refund all the orders from that date. And then the next day would refund from that date. And so, yeah, it was like a disaster. And then we kind of learned how to get on top of it, handle it, get in contact with Facebook right away. You can get in email conversations with them. That's the best way to do it. And you can get every account back very quickly. It's not like a Amazon suspension or something like that.
Interesting. So you had mentioned when you have a bunch of sales coming through, you really have to take care of them quickly. What does that process look like? We talked a little bit about it before, but when sales come through, how do you know that you sold something on Facebook? what are the steps that you actually have to take? And then we'll talk more about working with people in the Philippines. And I know a lot of your virtual assistants do 99.9% of all your stuff, but what does that look like when sales come through? Because I just set up my Facebook shop the other day, and I'm waiting for it to get approved. And I was kind of looking through the interface and stuff, and I see that there's a section where it shows like your traffic, your sales. But when I had a sale come in, I haven't had one yet. I'm kind of curious, how do I like fulfill it? How do I do that?
Yeah, so on the shops, I mean, it's super organized. We want to get away from the marketplace as quick as possible. The shops, it's super organized. When you're on the marketplace, you lose track of which order you're on. I mean, it's like it's a disaster. It's really hard. It makes it harder for the virtual assistants, and so they like shops more as well. But it is what it is. I mean, we're gonna do it because it's making us money right now. But yeah, it's just not organized. It's not made. It's made for like selling a couple things. So it's hard at scale for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm curious, Facebook's a really interesting, it's a large company. Obviously they're called Meta now, but I'm really curious what you think is going to come about in the future with e-commerce and Facebook. Like, how do you see that evolving? There's not a lot of people talking about that in the reselling space. Most people are talking about eBay and mostly Amazon. Where do you see things going? How do you see things developing?
Yeah. So, I mean, just think about, where we spend most of our time right now. We spend most of our time in the digital world. It's just not this crazy digital world yet. We're on YouTube, we're on our phones, we're on Instagram. And so it's just going to get enhanced really quickly. And what I mean by that is we can't understand what the future is going to bring to us. But we do know that we don't stray away from technology. When something's better and more convenient, we're going to do it. When something's cooler, when something's better, we're going to do it, right? Especially when it's available. And when other people start doing it, it's just this effect and everyone's doing it. So if people are putting on their virtual glasses and they're waking up and they're in their office sitting next to someone as soon as they put their glasses on, then they're going to do that, whether maybe it's required by their work, maybe they're going to the mall to shop, but for whatever reason, it's going to be more convenient. We don't know how, we don't know when, right? But that is the future and that's where we're headed. So, and Facebook is definitely on top of that. And that's why we're fully in on Facebook and want to continue to grow our accounts and stuff like that on Facebook.
Do you think that starting on Facebook Marketplace right now is the best way to start drop shipping? Because there's eBay drop shipping, there's Amazon, there's Banggood, there's people who drop ship on Etsy and different platforms right now. What are your thoughts? We haven't even talked about this behind the scenes, but I'm curious, and I'm assuming Facebook's probably what you think is the best because that's what you're really focused on. But what are your thoughts with the other platforms? Because I've had people on the channel talking about eBay drop shipping, Amazon drop shipping, now Facebook.
Don't get me wrong. I mean, I do sell on other platforms. I'm currently building my FBA store. We're working on actually making a jewelry store FBA. And my goal really is I'm not really all about making money for myself anymore. I'm all about building out services and mastering it myself. So I'll go and figure out something that works for 3 to 4, 6 months and then add it to our service list for my automation company. That's my goal. So if I can make money, in any sort of way. But right now I am focused a little bit on Amazon FBA for myself. I got a cool team working on that. We don't really do that much eBay anymore. That's how I started off, definitely. But
yeah, you showed me some of your numbers. I was like, holy crap, you were killing it.
Yeah. And so, Facebook's awesome. But, right now the majority of sales are on Amazon. So we do need to still pay attention there and see where we can benefit and make some money on that platform as well.
It's Natural said, I haven't been able to get my account back with Facebook Marketplace. Is there another way that I am not aware of? I believe it's my business name.
Yeah. So believe it or not, no matter how many times they email you back saying your account is restricted and we're not going to be able to enable it, they will enable it. It's just, it keeps going to other people. So if you keep resubmitting forms, it's going to keep going to other Facebook guys, and eventually someone's going to let you back into the account. I promise. We run over 20 accounts, so you will get it back.
And if you guys have questions right now for Jared about drop shipping, how to start drop shipping, making money with Facebook Marketplace, I do want to talk to you a little bit about the automation because I know you mentioned that. We haven't even really talked too much about it behind the scenes. So maybe are you cool if I ask you a couple questions about that in a few minutes?
Yeah, go ahead. Definitely.
Okay. First I want to talk about, Sandy was saying, I would love to know more about the Philippines. this is new to me. So can you explain a little bit more about what virtual assistants are, like how you build your team from the Philippines, maybe where you find them? Because a lot of people don't know that you can hire people, in different countries to help you at really, I have a lot of people work with me for $2, $3, $4, $5 an hour, depending on what you're having them do. So I'd be curious what your take is on that.
Yeah, exactly. The more skilled it is, the more you pay. If it's something you can train them to do, it's obviously going to be a lot cheaper. And we personally recruit from Davao City. It's a very, very poor city in the Philippines. They're amazing people. They all go to the same church. They all need jobs, so we're always hiring. So when I grow my business, it's just one more person getting hired in this little town. We're very well known there, but yeah, so it's pretty cool. And what's really important is, I mean, we handle all our clients' credit card information. We handle a lot of really important information, and these people are some of the most amazing people you'll meet on planet the Earth. So it's really good as an automation company to be able to know I can trust all of my now. Do all of our personnel have access to that information? No, you have to be working with us for a while to be able to have access to credit card information and stuff like that. But they're all extremely trustworthy. So it's all about finding a trustworthy employee and building that trust before you give them the opportunity to have access to important information as well.
Yeah, and I found that when you're working with virtual assistants, they'll either enhance your business or destroy it based on the quality of the systems that you have built. So if you are doing something really poorly, hiring someone to do that is just going to make it even worse. But if you have something that you're able to do, like if you're able to make $100 a month and you have an SOP that breaks down the 10 steps to do it, now you have something that might work. So virtual assistants aren't going to solve all your problems, but they can do a lot of the things that you don't necessarily want to do as long as you're able to break it down. So do you, like in your drop shipping business, Jared, do you have like SOPs and operating procedures, and like, do you have documents that kind of break down everything that they need to do, from like placing orders, product research? Like, how does that work?
Yes, absolutely. So my managers do all the training now. We do have documents as well that outline everything. But I will say going from 1 to 5 employees was the hardest thing because I was training them all myself. Now it's more plug and play. The managers train them. They can go get help from the guy next to them. So it's really easy now. But the building out those systems, like you just talked about, is the hardest thing and the most important thing. And so when I was scaling my personal accounts using roommates accounts and parents' Facebook accounts to grow my personal, businesses, it was going from 1 to 5, which was super hard, and building out those systems that I didn't realize had to be built out until like I was actually in it. But yeah, so now we have, like, instead of like someone doing everything, we have the product listing team, we have the product research team, we have the order fulfillment team, the customer service team, and each they do. My manager actually made all these documents. She thought that was a cool thing to do. So we do have those, but yeah, she trains them all. We have 2 managers. Yeah, that's pretty much how it works now.
It's kind of cool. Like, when I was new to virtual assistants, I was like doing everything working with them, and it took a lot of time. But you can actually create like a virtual assistant ecosystem within your business where like they all start to kind of integrate with one another. So you have the different departments all working with each other. And like now my virtual assistants, they have meetings, it's like this own world going on where they're getting stuff done without me. But you do have to train them. You do have to take the time up front. It's the same way with, for example, I'm setting up crypto bots that are making passive income for me. I have, real estate, there's Facebook automation, which we'll talk about. These are all things that, it takes time and a little bit of investment up front, and then you could earn passive income. But you got to set up the systems. You got to get linked up with the right people. You have to build your team out.
Yeah.
So hopefully that was able to help a little bit, Sandy. There was someone asking, do you have a website that you use to hire virtual assistants, Jared?
No, not anymore. We kind of just recruit from the same city. I mean, everyone in this city needs jobs. We literally just recruit from their church nearby. We're only at like 30 employees now. I mean, my goal is to really be big, to hopefully need. When I am recruiting, I use onlinejobs.ph when I'm recruiting for like specific talent, like my Amazon FBA specialist. She was recruited on onlinejobs.ph. I recruited a guy who helps me get shops approved. He was recruited on onlinejobs.ph. For the most part, 95% or more of my employees are recruited from that church, like we talked about.
So let's talk a little bit about your automation. We're not going to be pitching it on this video, but I did want to talk a little bit about it. just because you had mentioned it. And Steve Hart's asking, do you work with international customers? If so, how do you manage logistics? So share with everybody what you offer. And again, we're not pitching you on this video. Go to his YouTube channel, watch his videos, get to know him. If you like him, if you want to work with him, just send him a message. I'm not affiliated, but I really do like what Jared is doing. And I think he's a really good guy. Talk about what you offer. What is Facebook automation? And how does that work?
Yeah, so Facebook automation just means we're going to do all the work for you. Obviously, we take 50%, a 50% cut, but what it means is we're going to take over your Facebook. We have we'll rent a proxy in a residential location nearest to you. We'll be able to log into your Facebook, log in your eBays, log in all your accounts, and do all the work for you and literally generate you passive income. Obviously, there's an initial investment fee and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, it's literally that simple. To answer his question, do I work with international customers? Facebook right now only has the shipping option for United States customers. If you have family members, I'll work with you. And we have some other automation services as well that are for international customers. But besides that, for Facebook, you got to be based in the US.
So essentially somebody would pay you, you would build a store, you and your team would build a Facebook marketplace drop shipping store, and you would be invested in it because you would be, well, not only you're going to get your upfront fee, but what keeps you invested in it long-term is you're going to be getting 50% of that profit or the sales ongoing forever of the life of the store.
Yeah, 50% of the profit is what we take.
So that's interesting. So you build somebody a store so they don't have to do anything. So like if I wanted to use your service, I'd pay you a fee. You would build out a store for me. Would it be a Facebook marketplace store or a shop? How does that work?
So it's both. We work on the marketplace, and then in the background, we're getting the shops approved. So obviously, we don't guarantee immediate approval on the shops, but what I tell my clients is, hey, we're going to get you sales like in the first week or two in the meantime, and you're going to be making sales like right away. So it's kind of a win-win, and you have the professionals working on your Facebook shops, which is obviously of utmost importance.
And, let's just use me as an example. If you built me out a Facebook shop, so I own everything because it's in my Facebook account. So I could actually go in and see everything, see the items that are listed, see the items that are sold, have full transparency.
Yeah, absolutely. You can see everything. And then another thing to add is a Facebook shop is a digital asset versus a Facebook marketplace is connected to your Facebook account. So you're not going to ever sell your Facebook account, but a Facebook shop can be transferred to another account. So similar to an Amazon store, it can be bought and sold. So it is a digital asset, essentially.
And how long does it take for your clients to start making money? So you set up the store. What's that process take? Because, for example, I was looking into. I never did it because it was like 20K or something. But there was one of my mentors who I follow for a long time, Seth Kniep. He had a automation for private label on Amazon. So what they would do is they would research products. They would set up a whole private label Amazon business for you. You would pay them. And then I don't know if they would manage it long-term or how that would work, but I'm curious to know, like, that process right there would, like, there was a girl that I followed. It took her over 6 months till she made her first dollar. How long does it take your clients to start making money?
I mean, they're going to make money within the first week or two. I don't know if what you were talking about is wholesale. I mean, they're really growing.
That's private label.
Yeah, so I don't know if they're holding inventory or not, but like I said, we're not holding inventory. So the second you get a sale, you profit, and 95% or probably more of our clients get a sale, at least a sale in the first week. You're gonna get sales.
Interesting. That's cool. So hey, if you guys want to learn more about that, check out Jared at his YouTube channel. If you guys have any more questions, drop some comments right now. I think all the questions are coming through. I'm trying to get to them all right now. But if you guys have questions for Jared, let me know. What are your goals, Jared, with your Facebook drop shipping and automation over the next year or so? How far do you want to take the sales?
Definitely. So my goal is my business, right? And I want to generate ways to make passive income. And I want to find the best ways to do that and the easiest way possible to make that happen and then sell those services. So my goal is to really be hands off my businesses and basically creating the new ways to generate passive income.
Dude,
and
I'm all about that.
Yeah, I mean, who isn't, right? And
easier said than done, though. That's why I'm always so skeptical.
Of course. And obviously, when you choose an automation company, you really want to make sure you know who you're working with, and they're not just a scam, because I've heard a lot of scary stories. Some automation services are very overpriced. They'll take your money, and then if you don't get your shop open or your Walmart or Amazon, like, sorry, you know. So you want to make sure you're working with the right person. And yeah, besides that, yeah, so I want to build out these, automation services, and I want to basically be like an investment firm where people can come and, essentially, like, people invest in the stock market and crypto, they look for whatever percent returns. I want them to come to me and know that they're going to get higher percent returns. Yeah, there's a little risk involved, but it's like a no brainer. Like, if you make 10% hopefully in the stock market, and you can make 20% or more with me, or 30% or more with me, it's a no brainer. So I think it's like the future of investing is automation.
That's interesting. So speaking of percentages, right now nothing really beats crypto. Crypto's crazy. But there's a lot of people who think that's a scam. But hey, what are you going to do when it comes to, like the stock market and stuff? You're typically averaging around 10%. Over the long haul, similar with real estate, although there's some other benefits and stuff. And with stocks, you have dividends and real estate, cash flow appreciation, equity pay down, so on and so forth. What is your typical, for the clients who work with you with your automation, what type of return would I be looking at based on your experience with your clients right now?
Yeah. So a lot of our clients have ROI'd in like 6 months is the quickest we've seen it, sometimes 6 to 8. And you can ROI quicker once Facebook shops.
What does that mean? Does that mean like they get their initial investment back and then it's all profit?
Yeah, exactly. Like, they've actually gotten their initial investment back. Now,
wow.
If we started this like at the beginning, if I was selling automation at the beginning, my clients would have ROI'd like very quickly. Now it's getting a little bit harder. Once Facebook shops opens, right, to everyone, it's going to be more accessible, which is why you want to be, with those correct automation companies. But this is what I tell my clients, like, let's say I fail you and I make you your money back in the first year. Let's say I fail and I make you your money back in the first year. Well, next year it's all profit. So like, it's kind of like, because it's so hands off and it's building you a business, to me, it's like a no brainer. So that's kind of how I like to.
And it's cool with the shops too. I didn't realize it was a digital asset. You can actually sell that, since you could transfer ownership. Similar with, like, a lot of people don't realize, like with an Amazon business, if you have an LLC or a business, you can actually sell that property to somebody else.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And a lot of times you connect your LLC or EIN number to those shops. So it could be connected and you could sell the company with the shop as well.
Heather says tempting. Charlie Haddock says, Jared, if you were starting at a low cash amount, what's the best course of action? Maybe some flipping to get started with some capital?
Like, if you want to do it yourself, I always suggest going and opening up. Like, the easiest way to get credit is like the green Amex business card. You just sign up as a sole proprietorship, so you don't actually need a business. And the credit adjusts to your spending. So that's like a little credit hack also. So clients that don't have as good of credit, we go and do that for them. So that's probably the best way to get started. You want to use credit. You don't want to leverage your own money if you don't have to. Does that answer your question, Charlie?
I think so. I'm just putting a little thing in the chat for the people to subscribe. Let's see. All right. Subscribe to Jared on YouTube. First link in the description. Is there any other tips or pieces of advice that you want to share to people? Again, there's a lot of people watching who, aren't accustomed to drop shipping. A lot of people who think, it's a scam. It doesn't work. The thing is, like, people have been drop shipping for so long. Like, if drop shipping didn't work, there wouldn't be like millions of videos and people actually talking about it. But just like everything, man, there's people who sell on eBay and say it's a scam. Oh, you can't go to thrift stores. It's a scam. Oh, you can't go to auctions. Oh, you can't do this and that because they get suspended because they do something stupid, or with Amazon FBA. Oh, I got kicked off. Da, 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 da. It doesn't work. There's always a way to do the wrong thing with every single platform, like,
yeah,
you got to do it the right way. But any tips or advice for people who are just, they watch this video, they're interested?
Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt that in my mind that no matter what you're doing, whether it's reselling, whether it's drop shipping, that you should be selling on Facebook, right? It's new. You want to build up those shops. You want to build up those accounts, because I really think we can't, determine the value of a Facebook shop in the future. But similar to Amazon, right? If you try to sell on Amazon right now, you're gated in just about everything you want to sell in. And it's really hard to get ungated. So a gate, just an Amazon that can sell that has no reviews, but it could sell in every single category would be worth something, right? And so right now you're not gated in anything in Facebook shops. And if you think that's not going to happen and they're not going to be similar to Amazon in the future, you're kidding yourself. Like that's 100% going to happen. So just creating a Facebook shop, whether you're not going to sell anything at all, you should still go ahead, work on creating your Facebook shop because that will be worth something in the future.
Dude, right now, there's people paying $5,000 to $25,000 just for an Amazon account that's ungated in popular textbooks or ungated in Nike. I gave a big range because it really depends, you know, how desperate you are or what that account's ungated in. But dude, there's accounts going for a lot of money right now.
Yeah, it's crazy.
We can't predict that's going to happen with Facebook, right? But it could. You know?
Yeah, but no doubt. I mean, to slow down, right, people from getting in, you know, to categories and slow down the shops from coming on, they're going to have to create more ways to slow down people from getting into shops so quickly, especially as I think Facebook's going to blow up more than it already has. So I definitely think there's going to be things that happen slowly where they, you know, limit people selling, whether there's a way to, you know, limit, because right now you can have multiple shops too, which is a whole other story. So yeah, there's going to be something that happens. I haven't quite figured it out yet, but
it's an exciting time right now. It really, really is. And it's just crazy, man. You're 21 years old. You're crushing it with, you know, with drop shipping. He's doing all types of things with crypto and all different, you know, he wanted to talk about all these things. I'm like, we got to stay focused on one thing because, you know, I'm ADHD. And if we start talking about crypto and we start talking about this and we start talking about physical businesses, you know, this whole show is going to go to crap real quick. So hopefully you guys were able to enjoy the video and get some value. A couple more questions came in. It's Natural says, is the Facebook shop the same as listing items in your Facebook page? I am able to list my items on my page, but not on Marketplace.
Okay, yeah. So you actually have to get the shop approved on Marketplace. That's kind of what we mean by getting the shop approved. Anybody can have a Facebook page. In order for it to get free traffic, it has to be approved on the Marketplace, which is what we work on.
Sandy was saying, I just looked up the site for the Philippines. The cost they're requesting is at a week. You can negotiate. Usually they're what they're asking is like way high.
Oh, I think maybe the monthly fee, like I think it's like $60 a month to put an ad on, maybe.
Oh, for Online Jobs PH. I'm sorry. Yeah, if that's what you're talking about, there's a fee for onlinejobs.ph, I believe.
Yeah, I think it's like $60.
Yeah. So if you want something that's cheaper, you can go to upwork.com. The thing with Upwork, it's going to be like 3 to 5 times more expensive. So
yeah, and you'll get like a bunch of people that are applying really quickly. So you won't need more than a month or a week. You'll get like so many applicants and you'll just go through and interview them.
Yeah, and then you can just cancel after if you want. They don't like hold you hostage where if you work with someone there, you know, you could just take them off the site. So yeah. Guys, I think that's pretty much it for now. We were on for about an hour. Jared, thanks for coming on, man. I know this is going to help a lot of people. And, you know, when it comes to making money online, whether that's, you know, passive or not passive, I mean, you first got to come up with the idea. You got to know something works, and then you got to dive in it, do your research. So I suggest, you know, not even just jumping right into it. Just go to Jared's YouTube channel, watch his videos. You can reach out to him. He'll, you know, if you have some questions, leave them in the comments. Jared and I will answer the questions, but go check out his content. You know, look into it. Facebook's blowing up right now. There's some huge opportunities, and a lot of the Facebook shops are going to be getting approved in January. That's what they're saying now. So get started right now. Is anything else I missed, Jared?
No, that's it. You summed it up. Just hop on the opportunity while you have it.
Awesome. All right. Well, thanks so much, guys. I appreciate you all watching. And if you enjoyed this video, hit that like button and leave a comment. We'll answer it afterwards, and we will talk to you soon. Take care.